If you're not mad at what you're about to see, you're not paying attention.
Studies suggest there's strong evidence that some people who've been double jabbed are catching COVID and passing it on to those they live with. Our health editor Hugh is with me. Hugh, what exactly does the study show?
Well, Clive, this research in the publication Lancet Infectious Diseases reminds us that household transmission of the virus is a noteworthy source of spread of COVID, and that if you've had your 2 doses, your risk of getting the virus is reduced, but you can still get it. And it concludes that you are as infectious in that situation as someone who hasn't had the jabs.
Now that was from the BBC, a trusted legacy news source YouTube, so you can't get mad at me because they are supposedly reliable news. You're always recommending legacy news media like that all the time, and the algorithm shows up on the main page. By the way, speaking of getting shown on pages and getting preferred recommendations, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this video, comment on this video. Your interactions on this channel, on this video, go a long way with helping me beat the algorithm and get seen on other channels, and allows me to produce more content. So go ahead, smash on that subscribe button, like this video, comment on this video, and smash on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my latest content that I post. Now let's get into the article or the study that they're referring to. So this report just coming out yesterday on a rather trusted legacy news site, just in case if anyone in YouTube has an issue, Bloomberg, just released yesterday on October the 28th, 2021. By the way, I'm going to use the word jab just in case if YouTube decides to once again retroactively change the rules and flag certain content that says certain words. So I'm going to use the word jab instead of the other thing. So the report reads, and this is where they're getting this from, those who have been inoculated against the Modella are just as likely to spread the Delta variant of the Modella to contacts in their household as those who hadn't had the jab, according to new research. In a year-long study of over 621 people, in the UK with mild Modella, scientists found that their peak Modella load was similar regardless of their jab status, according to a paper published Thursday in the Lancet Infectious Disease Medical Journal. The analysis found that 25% of jabbed households contacts still contracted the Modella disease from an index case, while 38% of those who hadn't had the jab became infected. 38%, 25%, you're talking about an 8% gap. The results go some way towards explaining why the Delta variant is so infectious even in nations with successful jab rollouts, and why the unjabbed can't assume that they are protected against others who have had the jab. Those who were jabbed cleared the virus more quickly and had milder cases, while the unjabbed household members were more likely to suffer from severe disease and hospitalization. So our findings show that the jab alone is not enough to prevent people from being infected with the Delta variant and spreading it in household settings, end quote. A professor of infectious disease at Imperial College of London who co-led the study. And I go on to quote, the ongoing transmission we are seeing between the jabbed people make it essential for the unjabbed people to get jabbed to protect themselves. So you heard it both from Hugh of the health expert for BBC, and from this Bloomberg article that just came out yesterday, and I did a video on this. Go ahead and check that out. This confirms the CDC leak that we had back in the summer in July that confirmed that the viral load in those who got jabbed was virtually the same as what the viral load was who did not get jabbed. With that said, if the likelihood of transmission is still this pretty much equal, or the ability to, we were lied to about it, for starters, being a way of protecting you from getting it in any meaningful way, because the whole idea is you get it, you don't have to worry about masking, you didn't have to worry about social distancing, you can see your loved ones, or as Sparkley would say, you do it for other people. But that doesn't seem to be the case according to their own words necessarily. And it's starting to add up when you see the number of and cases flourishing amongst fully jabbed populations, which, like the article said, had very successful rollouts. I just did a video the other day on this in regards to the UK and the fact that over 86% of the eligible population of those who are 12 years and older have been at least one dose of the jab, and 80% of that same population who have already had 2 jabs or fully jabbed. And so it doesn't make sense. 80% with 2 jabs, or I think it was just under 80%, about 79.8%, but I'm rounding up, 80% fully jabbed, 86% with just 1 jab, and yet they're seeing a record number of cases. We see it in Singapore, which is one of the most jabbed countries in the world, well over 80% of its entire population. And then the same thing with Israel, and they're still seeing record cases. So it's lining up with the results that we're seeing in that you can still cause an outbreak. So my point again is, why are they forcing these draconian laws, forcing you to get something if it doesn't stop the outbreak itself? If the point is now, okay, do it for yourself, now the new question is, then why are you mandating something that is only for me now? If it doesn't stop the outbreak, it's supposed to only hinder hospitalizations, then that should be up to each individual's perspective. You can't stop the outbreak now by just getting the jab. That doesn't seem to make the difference. The only difference is how it's going to affect the individual, which again poses another question, because of the fact of the matter is it doesn't hit every individual the same, whether you get the jab or not, which, by the way, there was an Israeli study that showed that natural immunity is a thing and offers greater protection according to that study. But, I know science is ever evolving. By the way, I'm not a doctor. At the end of the day, you should always consult with your healthcare professional about what works best for you in your individual situation. But as far as me, I feel ever more encouraged and emboldened to just hold the line and say, no, I refuse to participate in this experiment. Because fact of the matter is, it is still very much experimental. We have no idea what the long-term effects are 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, because this jab is not even 1 year into its existence yet. So, and I'm not as much at risk. Yes, it is infectious. Anyone can get it. Transmissibility is high, but severity of the illness is not. Asymptomatic cases are still the majority of those in certain demographics, not to mention the number of mild cases amongst the other majority of individuals who test positive for it. This seems to really only affect specific individuals, the elderly, those in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, in more severe cases, and then those who are overweight and or obese, who also suffer from other severe cases of pre-existing conditions and or should I say comorbidities such as hypertension, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. So with that said, please, in order to help me produce more content, put out more videos, please go ahead and smash on that subscribe button, like this video, comment on this video, and heck, even share this video. This is Bruce the Boss. Have a great and safe weekend. I'm out. Peace.